The other side hired me. You know that, right?
Yes.
Against the videographer. And I'm kind of like Dr. Lyles. I'm from the defense side. Everybody knows you're sitting in a wheelchair and you've got what you've got and you've had a stroke, and you know nobody's trying to figure you out as some kind of faker or something like that. Everybody knows your situation. So they just want me to look at things from their perspective in terms of, you know, what you're going to need in the future. A lot of times I look at people of what kind of work they're going to do, but you were retired before this even happened. I take it you retired about
Correct.
2010 or 11 or something
Yes.
like that. And so you were happily retired and playing golf, and
Finally getting to play golf, yes.
instead of fixing, you were a golf pro and you had
I'm a
other
golf
jobs.
pro and superintendent.
And a superintendent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Golf course manager, superintendent, the whole ball.
I guess
of wax.
you moved from Ithaca because only you could play golf like half the year up there.
That's
Huh?
correct.
So you thought you'd go south where they play all year round? Was that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
We were explaining to Kyle, Marcy took over the food and beverage operation at the golf course that I ran, so obviously we had the winters off, so we,
Was the restaurant still open, that sort of thing during the winter, where
no.
people come in and just close it up?
We ended up coming down here for we ended up buying a little place in Palm Bay that we could
Okay.
come down to for the winter, you know.
Right.
And that led us to come here. We liked the area, that's how we ended up buying this house to retire here.
I think Palm Bay must be a little bit less expensive than a lot of other places.
Bingo.
Right?
Exactly. If
I
I
think it
told you
still
what we
is.
paid for our homes, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I think it still is. I think it's still.
That was the game plan. We originally used to vacation in the winter up in Orlando, and to rent a house for 1 month there,
It was like $3,000 or
it
something.
was pretty expensive. So I said, Morris, I bet if I found the right place, real estate wise, we could buy a little house
Yeah.
and pay the same amount for a whole year's worth of mortgage that we do to rent a house. And I found a little house over right near the golf course, really cheap. So we bought
The
that.
golf course that's here, and
Yeah.
they have a public course?
It's a good one. It's an Arnold Palmer signature course.
Oh, okay, sure.
The major. It's a good golf course. That's
Big sand traps and a lot of water. That's,
Yes.
that's kind of his signature.
Listen,
isn't it?
it's like I said, I'm a very shallow person. That's why I had to decide, besides the real estate, next thing was to find the right golf course. So
Okay.
I saw the whole Space Coast area was pretty reasonable real estate.
Right.
I came down, went from one golf course to another to see which one I could play golf at, which I would enjoy. I hit this golf course, I said, this is the one. This is a beautiful golf
What's the
course.
name of the course here?
The Majors.
Ah,
Arnold Palmer's signature course. And then for a while it worked out. In the winter time I'd come down and I actually helped out. At one point I'd noticed that I told the GM here, I said, you know, I see you guys are shorthanded at everything you do. There's nothing, you know, from teaching to the golf course, you know, for maintenance. There's absolutely nothing at the golf course that I haven't done.
okay.
So if you need anybody on the golf course,
So you did it all. You sold the merchandise. You
I
kept up.
taught.
You kept up. You were basically in charge of the groundskeepers in the
I
grounds.
was the man.
Okay.
He's actually
I mean,
a
my
better
job-
superintendent.
My job evolved into that.
Okay.
Started out as the pro.
Did you have any formal training in golf course maintenance and agronomy and all of that?
No, I picked a little bit up there. You know, I was
Well,
right
where
there.
did you work, Steve? Think
I
about
was in
where you
Ithaca, New York, right where Cornell University
Yeah,
is.
I know, I'm familiar with Ithaca.
I picked up
You have
quite a
Ithaca College and then you have Cornell, right?
Yeah, I went to Ithaca College for a while. I went
Okay.
to the Party School of the East,
What, 1 year, 2 years?
just 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, but Steve, your work prior to.
And then, ironically, I tell everybody, I was recruited by Jim Boeheim, Syracuse University. You know Jim Boeheim?
Sure, yeah.
Basketball coach.
You were recruited for basketball?
Well, little did anybody know, he used to be the golf coach too.
Oh,
Before he became the head coach.
Yeah, he was the, back then they had freshmen and varsity basketball.
look, I'm your age, I remember that. I remember the golf coach
So
was
he was,
also the track coach and
he
stuff
was
like
going,
that.
he was going to have me play on his freshman basketball team and play golf, so. Because we played a little pickup basketball together. He liked the way I could shoot the ball. And he figured if I played basketball, he'd whip me into shape
How
for
tall
golf.
are you? 6 what?
6'5",
5. What do you weigh right now?
a little over 3 beans.
3 beans. Oh, wow. You've always been a big guy, I take it.
Yeah, I graduated high school a little over 300. So I'm
You're offensive lineman?
You know, I never played football in high school. They wanted me to. I played in college.
Okay.
I went to Worcester Polytechnic Institute. You know where that is? Engineering school up in Worcester, Mass.
I would figure Worcester, Mass, yeah.
And I played football there. I was just bored. And one of the guys I knew said he was going out for football. I said, I think I'll go out for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
It took a
there
look at you. It looked
as
at
a
your
defensive-
size.
Yeah, I went there. I went out for the team. It was funny because I knew nothing. I told a guy, I said, I guess I'm a guard. He said, no, you're not a guard. They made me a tackle and then a nose guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was living in Jacksonville Beach area, and they had this team at Jacksonville University, the tallest basketball team ever assembled, college or pro. And Artis Gilmore was a feature player who was 7'2". They had a guy named Pembroke Burrows who was 7'1". Then they had another guy who was 6'10" and 6'9", and they had a little point guard named Chip Dublin. It was like my height. But they had a guy named Rex Morgan was their next point guard. He played for the Celtics. But they went all the way to the final game, and they were beaten by Sidney Wicks and UCLA in the final game of the NCAA's, little Jacksonville University.
Wow.
But Pembroke Burrows was 7'1". He was walking down the hall in his high school. He played in the band. He like a flute player. And this is like your story.
Played
The
elbow.
coach says, hey son, have you ever seen one of these on basketball? He goes, no, I never played that game. It's 7'1". You know? Well, he might have been a few inches shorter than that in high school. But he ended up on a championship type team. But he had never played basketball until he was a senior in high school.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's,
Yeah, because you.
yes, it is.
He
Start
became
with the
he
sport.
became a highway patrolman, and they had to have special consideration for him because he was so tall. And one time I was down like in Palm Beach County, I was driving down the interstate, and I saw this gigantic African American highway patrolman, and it had to be, it could only be Pembroke Burrows, the third, I think it was, Pembroke Burrows. So,
Played flute.
but you were just a big guy, and so people wanted you, whether it's for basketball or.
Yeah, I played hockey for the most part.
Oh, okay, you're one of those guys.
Well, he could
I
fill the
played
goal.
hockey and basketball growing up.
Yeah.
He could fill the
And
goal.
golf, of course.
Yeah.
And then when I came, problem in high school for football, I signed up for football. The coach was all excited because we had another guy that weighed about 300 pounds, and we would have been like awesome defensive line. But they moved my golf season to the fall, same as football, and I was like star on the golf team. I was undefeated for a couple of my freshmen. So actually, I was undefeated all the way through in match play.
Who was that pro up that lived up there in Horseheads? It was a
Joey Sindelar.
Sindelar.
Got a picture of it
Got a
right
picture
there.
of him
golfing
playing with me
Steve.
right over here.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Okay.
he used to come up and play.
He said, we had a lot of good players at our course. So it started out, he sent
How far away was that from where you lived? It's not that far, is it?
30
No.
minutes. 30
30
minutes.
minutes at
Yeah.
most.
Was there another player from right in there?
Mike Hulbert.
Oh, Holbert, the guy who putted one-handed.
Yeah.
He did for a while.
He putted the entire season
Mike-
one season. What? How does
Yeah.
that to be a guy who gets beaten by Michael? I think he won a tournament one-handed, did he not?
I don't know. if
He
you
might have won
remember if
the
he did.
Enjoy Open, yeah.
I remember when he would come over.
His
and
brother
practice
played,
with
his brother worked for me.
Huh.
And I taught his brother. His brother John ended up, that's my big golf story. John calls me up one year and he said, big man, I know you've always wanted to be in a major. I said, yeah. He said, you want to caddy for me in the U.S. Open in Shinnecock?
And you did.
He did.
Yes.
Wow.
Great story. Very
bet.
nice story.
He make the cut?
No. As he said the second day, he said, how was I going to know my dream come true was going to be an effing nightmare? It was the toughest golf course I've ever seen.
Yes,
I
what they
said,
say.
John, he was all
There's
embarrassed.
not a tree on it, right? It's just,
Oh, it's so
Oh,
much
it's this
carrot
grass
and
as tall as
waste.
you are.
yeah, yeah.
Waste.
In fact, his last hole of the tournament, he hit it about, not from me to Marcy out of the fairway. As we were walking up there, we got up within about 30 yards, we couldn't see it. I handed him his sand wedge, he goes, "What's that?" He says, "Well, put it this way." I said, "Put it this way, see those 5 guys looking for the ball? They've been looking since you hit it there. And they're all over it and they can't find it. I'm assuming this isn't a good lie." So that's what he did. He had turned sideways to hit it from me to her down into the fairway. Because from there he knocked it on the green, made about a 30, 40 footer. Everybody thought it was for a birdie. There was a big standing ovation. It was the first birdie they'd seen. And he was really touch of class. Picked the ball out of the hole, turned around, gave the golf course the finger.
That was
At one
John.
point he was chipping and the ball kept rolling back to him and chipped up and it went around over there, came back down, rolled back down to him. And people started laughing. I said, these people, and that's when he really lost it. I said, these people have no idea how hard this golf course is. These people couldn't finish this golf course in a day.
Well, Greg Norman said he would never play there again, how rudely he was treated at Shinnecock.
Well, you know,
Really?
you got New Yorkers.
That was a
They're
year that
brutal.
Tiger was just, he was just turning pro. And he hurt his wrist in the practice round, hitting out of the rough. It's just like, it's
But
just a
you did
boom.
have a good experience when they
Oh, I had
set
a-
them up.
I had a fantastic experience. You know, the golf clubhouse sits up on the hill. I'd wait for John outside the clubhouse. He'd come out and then he'd putt first. And when we came around the corner, you got the driving ranges like down the hill. And you got to go through 40 or 50 yards, just people, solid people.
They didn't have a pathway for you?
No. But if you were someone that, you know, like Nicholas or Norman, they had 5, 6 guys came out with a rope on this side and pushed everybody back, and then the same on this side. So we're coming down, all of a sudden these guys are coming out, shoving people out of our way. I'm like, what? And I'm carrying the bag down. We get down onto the tee, and there's a guy that runs the driving range in one of those. You just don't go where you want.
Right.
They have your name tag set up.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "Big man, you're John's, yeah." He says, "Down here," and he like shows me. I go grab a couple bags of balls. He shows me down. We're right between Nicholas and Norman. He put us there. He liked the story. He said he liked the story where he worked for me and he called me up. Everybody liked it. Chris Berman interviewed us. It's a nice story.
You were long shots. It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
qualifier, no doubt.
The dream was to make the U.S. Open, and they did.
It was really
Like
nice.
10
'cause
Cup, right? That kind of story.
That's right.
He got on the first tee. It was a really nice story. He got on the first tee and they introduced him out of Bradenton, Florida, because that's where he lives now. And he turned around and walked back to the table and they said, "No, that's a correction on there. From Ithaca, New York, Newman Golf Course. That's the course I ran." And there's about 5 people clapping. I mean, I wanted to cry. There was about 5 people. There was like about 4 or 5 people from Ithaca there in the
He
crowd.
did that for you.
Yes, he did it for me.
And that would have been Mike Hulbert's brother, younger
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I always thought about it. If you lost to Mike Hobart, he's putting with one hand. How would that make you feel, you know? How do you keep it straight?
I remember when
I
he
tried
used to,
doing that.
and
I
he'd
could
always
not- I
put
was
one
not that
hand
good.
on his hip or his
Yeah, that's right.
leg.
He came to our course all the time.
Yeah.
Anchor his arm on his
To
hip and
practice it.
putt like that with one hand.
He would come to, I'd sit and watch him on the putting green.
Mike would come to our
practicing.
course to practice because him and same with Joey and his son. Joey used to come play in our skins game. He said it's the closest I have to tour conditions as far as the greens go, which was a big, obviously, compliment for me.
Yeah, good.
In fact, he went to the U.S. Open senior. He went to the U.S. Open at Wingfoot, and he told the USGA agronomy crew they should get a hold of me because they don't know what they're doing. I was like, "Oh, great, Joe, that's great."
All right, well, listen, let's get to this other stuff. The
Okay.
stuff you don't really want to talk about. You'd rather talk about golf. I have a feeling that both of us could sit here and talk about golf.
Sure.
I can tell you my Tiger Woods story, for instance. I'll tell you before I leave. Just remind me.
Okay.
And,
Did you date him too?
no. I'll tell it up front, so that way we don't have to wait. The suspense would kill you. I was there at the Tournament Players Championships on the 8th tee. It's a very long and difficult par 3. And he was playing with, what's his name, Nick Watney.
Yes.
And we were sitting on the tee. We were as close to where they teed off from me to the, almost me to you, but me to the television. It was really, that we sat there because we were so close to the players, right on the tee. And at the time, Tiger was coming off that whole episode about his wife breaking the glass in his car and
Right.
that whole thing, you know. And in the newspaper the day before, they had an article about Tiger getting his life back together, and he said that he had turned to Buddha. His wife, his mother was a Buddhist. She was from Thailand.
Right.
And so he was getting his inner peace from his mother's Buddhist practices and meditation and all this kind of stuff. And so I said, oh, that's okay, you know. And so Tiger comes up to strike the ball. Watney is hitting first. Tiger's having a bad day. He dropped out of that tournament because he had some kind of neck sprain or something. Remember that? So anyway, Nick Watney hits his and just sort of rolls off the green a little bit. And Tiger hits his shot and hits the side of the green and bounces way off into the pine straw. I mean, way off, like 40 feet off. And he slams his club down. He uses the Lord's name in vain, you know, Jesus, and then uses the F word and slams his club down. But I guess there were no cameras there. It was
Wow.
like Thursday, you know. And the guy behind me says, shouldn't he be cursing Buddha?
That's cute.
Instead of Jesus, he should have been cursing Buddha.
That's correct.
I didn't come up with it. Scott
I was
behind
going
me
to
did.
say, I can't believe that there
And
were no.
a lot of the people in the crowd just started laughing, you know.
Oh.
Tiger kind of looks around like, are they
Wow.
laughing at me because I made a bad
He
shot?
had a lot
or
of pent-up
because I slammed
anger,
my
didn't
club. Oh, he was an angry young man.
He has come back.
But that's it. I go to the Tournament Players Championship pretty much every year. All right, so this is where you live and this is where you're going to stay.
That is correct, yes.
You're not planning on moving anywhere.
No,
All right.
no plans of it.
All right. Okay. Let me get some of this stuff out. I made a lot of notes on you. I've got the advantage over you. I've read all this stuff about you. Read 2 of your depositions and all your records. And so I just say I'm a psychologist by training, but I'm not here to be your psychologist.
Okay.
I worked in rehab centers and academics and, of course, consulting. I'm a consultant guy. I'm a rehabilitation consultant. And just like Dr. Lyles is not your doctor necessarily, but he wrote this fancy report about you. So, but anyway, I'm not trying to analyze you or diagnose you or whatever. You look pretty normal to me, and I'll give you the, the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, I got a normal rating.
Oh, I'm known as a person who has wide bands of normality. A lot of people in my
Good.
profession, they diagnose people when they walk in the door. It irritates me to no end. You know, people they don't even really know, and they're diagnosed. There was a book out about all these people diagnosing our president. So it's like 500 pages, and not one of them have ever spoken to him. You know, so that kind of thing
Right.
irritates me. And so I'm not here. I'm just telling you, I'm not here to. I know you have some depression, and we'll talk about that later. But but I'm not here as a psychologist. I just want to make that clear to you. Okay. But I have all. This is most. I'll show you what I got here. This is a pretty big deal here. It's a perfect place to sit. You know, a little table for me and everything.
There
You
you
gonna
go.
get me a coffee, dear? or
I
no?
did
What?
not see.
No, I see
I
that.
heard it perking over there.
I did make new. Did you want one?
She gave me the dregs, and you get the new coffee.
That's
No,
good.
I'm filling you up, but I was waiting until you were.
No, I'm just kidding.
Let me just top it for you. How's that?
That's great. I don't drink or smoke, and I don't chase women around, but I do drink a lot of coffee.
Good, we do that too.
Okay.
I might just get it fresh.
Listen to Lucy, she's so annoying.
So you were born May the 12th, 1951. So I was born August the 21st, 1950, so we're 9 months apart roughly.
I just gave you fresh, so it's nice and hot.
Oh,
Don't
thank you,
forget to
Marcia.
drink it.
And what I'm trying to get at here is the stuff that you're going to need because of your stroke, basically. It's called a life care plan. You've probably seen the one Dr. Lyles wrote about.
I have not seen it.
Really?
I have not seen it.
Okay.
No
Well,
idea.
I'll go over it with you. You know, I'm not trying to spill any beans, but that's something that was written about you, you know, so.
I really have not seen it. I have no idea.
You remember
We know
speaking
what
that?
it was about.
Yes, I do. I remember speaking
You
to
gotta
him.
ask your lawyer to send you a copy. I don't know. Most people get them. Most people in your situation end up looking at
My
them.
lawyer probably doesn't want to scare me.
Maybe. I can't intervene in that, whether he wants to give it to you or not. But here's what I know. You're really only seeing two doctors, right? You see Dr. Garcia
Dr. Garcia and
Dr. Karras.
Karras, yes.
That's it.
One other, we see a neurologist.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
Dr. Mochia, Moccia.
He's just he's keeping an eye on this side,
The other
the other carotid artery.
He's a new, the neurologist is a
He's
new
new?
one.
Okay.
Yes, it was
Yes,
Dr.
That's why I'm asking. So does he have you on the schedule, like he sees you once a year or twice a year?
Sees me about twice. They all see me about every 6 months.
Okay, all right. Including Dr. Karras? Because
Yeah,
I saw a
just-
record, he was saying once a year or twice a year?
Twice a year. I
Okay.
just saw him the other day. I just was there.
Okay. Did they tell you anything new?
No, just incredibly good blood pressure and stuff.
Okay, well, that's good. So you're taking the medication for that?
Well, I still take, because of my heart failure situation, you know that.
Yeah.
I still take carbidool.
Yeah, I see that. And you're taking 625 milligrams twice a day?
6.25.
Oh, yeah, they have that, that's right. I see the
Twice a day.
point. That'd be a lot of milligrams.
It
anyway.
would be, wouldn't it?
You know, that might slow my heart right down to nothing.
It might, you might be in some other world with that. Okay, 6.25. I actually just didn't see the point, but I had it there. And that's working for you, obviously.
Yeah, well, something did. If you follow my whole record, you know, I went in originally, I was having some issues, went in, they did an echocardiogram, my function was down to 15%.
I read that. That's pretty scary.
Yes, it is. I got a friend who's a doctor up home, I called him, up in New York.
Golf course friend?
No, he's a friend I grew up with on the
okay.
golf course.
Okay, all right.
He was like, Jesus, get to a specialist now. And I say now, he said run. I mean, I was panicky. So I went to see Dr. Karras. I had a friend at the golf course who was a cardiac surgeon. He said, there's only one guy to see in this town. See this Karras. He won't panic. You know, he'll figure out what's wrong. He won't just say, oh, you know. So I went to see him. And the first thing he said, well, your resting heartbeat is 130 beats a minute. I know what's wrong with you. Your heart is tired. So all he did is, he said, I'm going to give you some medication to slow it down. And I had AFib and everything. So originally he gave me digoxin and carbidool, lisinopril. Anyways, it worked. And he gave me 1 year to get it down below, or get it better than 35%. Or he was going to put in a defibrillator.
You don't have one, do you?
No. Ironically, it was like the year later, I have another echocardiogram. It's up to 55%. He's all excited. I'm all excited because I don't have to have. So I'm like celebrating all. That was a Friday. I'm celebrating all. Play golf Saturday, Sunday. Monday I have my stroke. So much for that. So, and now, having been in the hospital and all that, they've run it some more. You know, I'm up to 67% now.
That was your most recent visit with Karis?
Well, yeah, well, the last time that they did it was 67%.
Ejection fraction. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. You said
That's
it's 15% at one point?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was basically on the list for so yeah, so that's a pretty good improvement, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Okay. You have complete confidence in Karis and you're sticking with him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you see Garcia, do you see Garcia with anything related to your stroke, or is he just your general physician?
He's my general physician.
Oh, yeah, so anything you have that comes up, that's who you go see?
Yes, we have a regular schedule with him too. But
Okay,
We see him every 6 months.
I go in, he just checks out the basics. He sees
Okay.
how I'm doing.
he
And
monitors your hypertension and stuff like that
Right.
too?
Lab work and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, you have labs twice a year? Okay.
you know what my blood pressure was?
No,
116 over 64. Any good?
that's good.
Thank you. That's the most recent, just the other day.
Yeah, that's like mine. I'm always go around crowing about mine. Mine's good like that too.
Maybe it's the.
You know, that's really good, being as big as you are, and you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
really large people when they're older,
Absolutely.
most large people when they're older have blood pressure issues. I had you down as, last time I could find your weight was 320. You think that's about what it is, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's about right. I had a lot.
But
When
you've always been a big guy. You've
Yeah.
always had, I mean, you got big legs, big arms, big everything,
Oh, it's
right?
got tree trunks. for
Yeah, he's got
legs.
huge legs. That's offensive lineman.
His legs.
Take one look at those legs, and it puts you right
enormous.
on that tackle slot. You know. But are those labs for just general labs that you take, or do you have to see the doctor for your echo once a year, right? You do an echo once a year?
Well, not once a year.
They hadn't done it, it'd been 2 years since we had the last echo, but
Okay.
they just did it when we went to see Mochia and whenever.
Well, they did a
Couple of months.
carotid echo, you know.
Yeah,
They do that probably at least once a year to make sure this left side, it's the right side that's blocked. They want to make sure the left side doesn't get blocked. And the last test, it was
normal.
normal is what they said.
Okay. On the other side.
Yes.
That would be the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would you like a light? Do you need light?
No, I'm good.
I mean, I can just put this one right
No,
here.
I'm good.
Okay.
My glasses are a little foggy. That's the only thing, my problem. It's
Probably because it's so cold in here.
no, it's not. I had a weird story. I left my cell phone and my glasses on top of my car, and I drove almost 10 miles, and I got to my destination, and they were still on top of my wife's car.
You are not a Daytona 500 guy, huh?
I was on a car ferry. It goes across the St. Johns River.
Oh, my golly.
And I got out, and I always stand on the front. I've been going across that ferry since I was 3 years old,
Unbelievable.
4 years old. And I got out, and you might see a manatee or a dolphin or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I get out. So I have my regular glasses. I put them on top of her car. It's an SUV. And then I put my cell phone up there with it, and I reached in and got my sunglasses, and I rode across the ferry. It's only a 5-minute ride. And I got back in the car and drove off, and went to my brother-in-law's house.
Good
I
Lord.
went to the hotel where my son is going to be married in April. It's in Jacksonville Beach. And I went to this restaurant across a bridge over the Intercoastal Waterway. So I figured out the whole thing was a little over 10, 11 miles.
Holy cow.
And I
Boy,
was standing there
You're charmed.
looking for my cell phone. I said to myself, oh no, I left my phone on top of the roof on the car ferry 2 hours ago.
Mm.
And I run to the car, and I was like 50 yards from the car, and I could see the phone on top of the car.
Unbelievable.
That is
It
unbelievable.
really is.
That's, you know,
But she had these little metal rails on top. It was a
yes.
Lincoln MKC, you know what that is? One
Yes.
that Matthew McConaughey drives and
Yes.
talks real, you can never go home, they say. It's that car. And my glasses were started out up by the driver's seat, because I was driving, and they were up against this rail, and they worked themselves down to this far on the downslope at the end of the rail,
Holy cow.
when I saw the
They were
phone
close to
sitting there.
getting out.
And my phone was there and had entrapped my glasses along the rail. My
Wow.
glasses were still there too.
You
But
are-
they scratched up the lenses, all that vibrating for driving
Oh,
around.
I understand. There's your father.
That sounded like a miracle. I said, you know.
I was gonna say, you had somebody riding on your shoulder that day, looking over.
But occasionally I will leave like a coffee cup on top of the car or something like that. My wife says, I can't believe one of these days you're going to leave your cell phone or something important, your wallet on top of the car.
Prophecy.
Because I broke a couple of coffee cups that way.
What do you mean he's lucky? His glasses got scratched.
I'm
I still have them. These are pretty old anyways. I'm sure need to get some
almost
new.
time, huh?
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're not in physical therapy, are you? Or are you?
No, I was up until I went last summer. I was in physical. I was in the pool therapy. I got back in.
Well, you were in physical therapy. You went for 3 weeks, I saw, in 2017, correct? You went into rehab and, no?
Well, I
With
went,
physical and occupational therapy temporarily, and you continued with the aqua therapy,
yeah.
does that sound right?
And then I went again last. And then they, you go so long. My insurance company,
Okay.
they discharged me, and Dr. Karras.
Was that heart rehab?
Well, that's how we got back in. Dr. Karras wrote it for cardiac
Okay,
exercise,
all right.
because I'm on the treadmill in there.
It's the aqua therapy. That
The
has
aqua
done the
therapy.
best.
Your an aqua treadmill, the one that's in the pool treadmill?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's called the HydroWorks.
Okay, so they discontinued for the regular physical and occupational therapy,
Correct.
but they wanted you to keep going on the aqua and do the treadmill in the
No,
pool.
they didn't. I'm the one that finally said, is there another way I can get him in there? It's helped him a
Okay.
great deal, and so
That's-
I just came up with, can
Is
you
that the
write a
most helpful
script?
thing? Is the aqua therapy seem to be the most helpful?
Oh,
for you?
absolutely, because Steve doesn't have the fear of falling. And if you do, you fall in the water. His fear level, when Steve walks, he's afraid
So I
because
did
he's
the
falling.
treadmill, and I did different exercises with the treadmill, walk sideways, backwards,
Okay. Where do you go for that?
Melbourne Terrace.
Yeah, it's the only
And
one.
then there's
Oh,
there's a step there. You're in the deep part is about 4.5 feet. There's a step into a shallow end.
Okay.
And we did different exercises there. I did a lot of squats and stuff. And
Would you like to be going there like permanently or at least
I
do
know
it?
she would like me to go
At least
there.
I
have
would
every
love him being
series every year, maybe.
That's what I
The
would
series
love
every-
to do.
Yeah.
And I said to Steve, if you ever got enough money, I would put something in here, like those, what's it called, the
Endless pool.
endless pools, and then get something to
Can you
get
swim?
in and out. Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if I could swim. All the time I've been, I used to be able to swim.
You
sure.
floated. He said you
I'm
float
a
on your
wonderful
back.
floater.
You say that with some comedic effect.
Well, yeah, I used to say, it's because they'd
You
be
know-
trying to get me. There's a chair that you get in to lift you out,
Mm-hmm.
And I just start floating around. He couldn't get me in the damn chair.
To get the sling on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lift. They lift you out
Yeah.
out of the pool.
It's like a Hoyer.
That's at Melbourne Terrace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Can
that
you join Melbourne Terrace and use it? Is there a membership kind of thing? Some of these places have. that.
No.
I've
I'm-
never looked into that. We've always relied on insurance because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Are you there with a therapist, or you just do it on your own?
Oh, there's a therapist there with me. Sure.
yeah, you can't do it on your own.
Well, he sets the thing, and he determines. In his case, in case he wanted two things, but he was working on my heart, so he wanted to make sure. He didn't really care what I did as long as I did 30 minutes
Okay.
of cardio. So it started out, I could break it up if I wanted, and then towards the end, I did 30 minutes straight.
Okay, Dr. Karras wants 30 minutes of aerobic activity.
That's what the therapist had
Okay,
had,
okay,
set for Steve, yes. Through Dr. Karras's script.
yeah. Well, what I'm getting at is a lot of places are kind of going to once you're discharged from your prescription, so to speak, a lot of places you're able to join. This is sort of the trend with a lot of these.
I have not looked into that,
and,
I'd love to know that.
I had a guy with an amputation, and he could go back to this therapy center and do these exercises pretty much on his own.
So there wouldn't be a therapist there to help. See, I'm thinking because of insurance, they would have a
Well, maybe with
situation.
aqua therapy, maybe it's
Look
different.
into it,
I'm just talking about the guy who was doing structured exercise.
absolutely.
Well, excuse me, I think the other place, I went up to, what's the name of the one up by?
Oh, Holmes,
Health South?
Holmes, yes.
Yes, I went there,
Big
and that's just a pool. There's no
Oh, okay.
treadmill now. I had a therapist there, but I could see there, once I got in, I could do my exercise. Sometimes he just let me go. You know, I'd walk back and forth the length of the pool.
Was it about 4 feet deep or something
It goes
like
from 3
It went
to
from,
4.5
yeah, it went from,
to 3.
yeah, 3 to 4.5 to deep and back to 3 on the other
that?
end.
And they had one lane set aside just for.
As big as you are, you were sticking way out of that.
He was.
Yeah,
He
yes,
hangs
I
out of it.
was.
Okay.
Me and the ladies, there was a bunch of ladies there. I
That is
called them the
definitely
girls.
something that I would like to
Now
see
they're
Steve
doing their
do.
aqua therapy, aqua.
That's sort of a side interest there. You got a bunch of ladies walking around.
They're all 70, 80 years old.
Hey, and the older you get, the
You're
better they look,
66,
right?
Steve.
I'm
Okay.
sure they looked at me and went, oh great, we got one guy, he's a big fat.
Okay. All right, so, just to resolve this, the aqua therapy is the thing that works for you more than anything. You would like to be able to do it more often than you are because you've had these limits on your
Insurance.
insurance. I saw where they were allowing you to go for 3 weeks for these therapies. That was the script that was written for 3 weeks. But that was for physical therapy and occupational therapy. And then you continued on with the aqua therapy, but at some point they discontinued that too.
Right, because the therapist
Yes,
has to write it out.
originally I'd go there, I'd do my aqua therapy, I'd get out, change, and I'd do physical therapy.
Okay. Was it 30 minutes of physical therapy or 50?
It was about an hour.
Did you have physical and occupational?
Yes,
You did.
that originally.
Originally, yeah, my pool therapist was actually the occupational.
Occupational therapist, okay. That was the occupational
That's
therapy.
correct, that's correct.
No, I started out in a small gym, yes. And then he moved me and he said, do you want to try the pool? I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And we still did some occupational type stuff in the
Yeah,
pool.
upper extremity stuff.
Yeah,
Have you had any function in that hand at all? None.
I mean, the whole,
Can you move it at all?
I can move the arms some, but
There's no grasp or anything?
no, if you open it, if you put your hand in here, I can squeeze your hand,
Okay.
but I can't
Well, you
open my
can-
fingers up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't control it, you just grab hold of it.
Never got any return of function?
No.
No.
Okay.
We did Easton.
Do you do exercises with those fingers to keep them supple, or you stop doing that?
He
We
does
haven't done
that
a lot.
himself.
Yeah, we had, sometimes I put we have what is it, the brace they put on, you put on here?
I haven't used it in a long while because you.
Does it have rubber bands on it? And it holds your fingers out like this?
No, it was just a regular.
It's a
brace.
plastic, almost a plastic cast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And we still do, I haven't
It's a
done it as
splint.
much.
It's a splint.
Yeah.
It's a tenodesis splint.
and he has a, I tried to
See
put him
these
on.
scars
the
all
bike.
over my hands? See how my hands, how weird they look? That's the only padding I have. I've had hand surgeries too, but my hand was curled up like that and they did surgery and opened up my fingers. You seen these old guys walking around with trigger fingers?
Right.
I had that with both of my hands, so this gigantic Q-tip on my hand for the first couple of weeks. Couldn't get it through the sleeve of my shirt, you know, it's just too big. But that doctor did a really good job, and they both worked, but my golf game's never been the same. So, you have feeling in there.
Yeah, I have some feeling, yeah.
You can feel that? But you haven't been able to get any, that's why the occupational therapist is not working with you, because I guess that's a, kind of the end result you're looking at. They're not able to get any return of function. I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but.
Correct.
So they're working on you with your, you know, your overall health and, you know, using your body as best you can. So they want to get you sort of strengthened with stamina. I'm surprised they haven't put you on a big weight loss program, get you down to 240 pounds.
Not my boy Brad, no.
Well, I don't know how they do it, but
Okay,
I watch everything that goes in his mouth and
yeah.
Trust me,
You're just big, is that right? You're
I'm
just,
a big man, always been big.
were you born big? You one of those 9, 10-pound babies?
Oh, yes.
How big was your dad?
He was only about 6'1", maybe 180, 200
Oh,
pounds.
okay.
My brothers were pretty big. My sister's pretty big.
I think she's bigger than both your brothers.
Your sister's the biggest one of the bunch?
No,
Well,
she's
she's
maybe
like
6
Steve.
foot tall,
Really?
though. No,
She
I'm
probably
afraid
weighs
I'm the
200.
giant of the family.
Okay. We're a bunch of munchkins at the McKay house.
I wish. That'd be a good thing. If Steve had weighed less and not been as tall, this whole process would have been easier. You know, things just like trying to get him in a vehicle, his flexibility, the
But
whole
you can
thing.
stand and pivot, like to turn and sit down, you
He
sit down?
couldn't for the longest
Yeah.
time.
I sit down that chair.
Yeah, see, it's kind of built up to make it a little easier on you?
Yeah, we had the couch and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that did a lot of the work on the house, widened the doorways and everything,
Mm-hmm.
he's a friend of mine, golfer. He built those things that fit underneath the chairs and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's pretty clever.
Well, that's one
We
way
had
of
a
getting
couch
him
like that too, same.
Well, that's your seat, though. That's your
Yeah,
perch right there.
yeah.
Okay.
And yes, I can get up with my walker, I can pivot and stuff.
Yeah.
He can sit down in it, he cannot stand up by himself. So.
You stay here in the house most of the time?
Oh,
I
for the
read in
most,
your deposition, I think your wife, I think Marcy said he's basically at home almost all the time. Is that right?
yeah, for the most part. We try to get over to the golf course once every other week or so to see
Okay.
my buddies over there.
Okay.
Just
And
for
other
now,
than that,
so-
unless we got, sometimes I'll go with her if she's got errands to do.
But
Okay.
most of the time, he doesn't even want to.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a new band that's
That has made things much
it's
easier.
made it a little easier.
I'm gonna check it out before I leave.
Yes, absolutely.
Remind me.
It's a beauty.
Is it a Toyota?
It is.
Toyota, yes, and it has, it's that BMI,
Is it a Sienna?
Yes.
yes.
That's the most common vehicle to be modified for people with wheelchair users.
That's
It's
what
the
they
number
said.
one car.
And
Well,
it's
it
the
might be
biggest
because
one
the
inside.
back is big enough, I pull in with my power chair, I actually can take a turn. Because I have this thing, the front passenger seat
It's a docking station.
Mm-hmm.
comes out and there's a docking station, there's a thing under my chair. And I go in, I turn and I drive right in, so I can sit in the front seat now.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
familiar with
don't
that.
have to do the
Yeah.
tie downs or anything.
Are you not interested in learning how to drive?
I could drive, but somebody here is never gonna let me. She won't let me drive a damn golf cart when we go over the golf course.
I thought you wanted to get a golf cart for some
I
reason.
do. They have a golf cart where the seat swivels, power swivels, and then it lifts and tips you forward. Lifts your butt up and tips you forward. So you can swing right from the seat, you know. and
I've
you're-
seen that.
You're strapped in, yes.
They have a tournament up in Warm Springs, Georgia every year for people, paralytic golf tournament. It's where Franklin Roosevelt went when he was being treated for polio and whatnot. Warm Springs, Georgia, it's near Columbus. And I actually collected data there for my dissertation, and just coincidentally happened during the time when they had that tournament. And so they had all those golf carts where people were swinging from those seats as you described it, so it was pretty interesting. I didn't get to watch a lot of it, but
What was the name of the place?
Warm Springs Rehabilitation Center.
I just-
So they have the little White House there, which is Franklin Roosevelt's house that he lived in when he was in Warm Springs.
I want it, they have a
It's a
regular,
Donald Ross course. I mean, it's a beautiful course.
they have a whole thing with one-arm golfers, which all have to be, because this arm's
Yeah.
not working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went out on the driving range in Panama City Beach. I was over there for work and went out there. There was a guy out there with one arm, and he had a shoulder disarticulation, which is somewhat rare. Only about 6 or 8% of upper extremity amputations are at the shoulder, and no arm at all, basically. And you know, he only had his right hand, and he was sitting, and everything was a duck hook. Every single shot was a duck hook. You know, and I was watching him. I kind of got a little closer to him. I was watching him. It probably made me a little nervous. It was night, under the lights, kind of misty, just the two of us on the tee. Finally, I said to the guy, I
Did
said,
you give him a little clever,
yeah,
a little bit too much right hand?
that's exactly what I told him. I said, you know, I said, I see you're hooking everything. He said, yeah, I don't know what to do. I said, well, I see your problem. And he said, well, what do you think my problem is? Smarty pants, right? And I said, you got way too much right hand and arm in that. But he was turning his hand over, just like you would if you were two-handed golfer, he's turning it over. And so, you know, had to change his grip. He had too strong of a grip. It was
Right.
doing this kind of thing. But I told him what I did for a living and all that. He was a great guy. He was really kind of good with it, quite frankly. You know, we had a nice chat. But yeah, you could play golf. Yeah, there's a tournament that blind people play golf. We have a tournament once a year. I forget where it is.
I've seen write up about that,
Yeah.
where it's a
Sound.
seminar or
Yeah.
something.
Well, I didn't know at the one-handed, they have a state and national level. They even have a Ryder Cup thing they play in Europe.
For one-handed
Yeah.
golfers.
And the only rule is you can't, you know, actually, for the states, they have different levels. You have any prosthetic thing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or nothing, you know.
Oh, you have to use, you can't use a prosthetic? You have to swing with one hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there was a woman in Tallahassee, she moved away, her last name was the same as mine. She was a disc jockey, fairly well known because she was a kind of pop radio station. It was J.J. McKay, and she had one hand. She had a kind of a malformed, being born that way, and she had a prosthetic. She was really a good golfer. Nice looking woman, really good golfer. She used the prosthetic made for golf. Okay, so you're not getting physical therapy now, but you want to do the continue with aquatherapy. That's
Yes.
okay. Do you do exercises at home?
We do some things. My exercise consists of quite a bit of walking with my walker, but
How far can you go?
Well, when you get done, I'll take you to the garage and show you the house, how we have it.
Okay.
Unless you'd like to go now.
Maybe you could show me how you walk. I mean, at some point, maybe.
okay, my
Absolutely.
bed is like the other side of that wall there.
Okay.
And I get up, and then my bathroom's over the furthest thing away. And then I'll walk from the bathroom sometimes out, over, down this hall and out here.
Okay.
That's the max.
40 feet, something like 50
It's
feet?
more than that.
Probably
60?
50, 60, yes.
Okay.
But that is the max.
In
Have you
therapy,
tried walking outside to see what your endurance would be, how far you could go?
we
You walk
used-
outside at all?
Yeah, we used to just walk out. She wanted to see how I could handle the ramp there.
Mm-hmm. Is there a ramp there? I didn't notice.
I
Is
do
that
have a
little
ramp.
bit of a wedge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just out here, so it's wheelchair in
Yeah.
and out. And then we widened the
Can you
sidewalk.
go down the driveway?
Used to come up the driveway, and then I
can't go
had a
down.
horrible fall.
Yeah, I read about that, yeah. Okay.
And now.
That was
How long
her-
ago was
make
that?
him
Oh, that was a while ago. How long? That was a
2
couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to be my big exercise. She made me ride in the front seat, and I'd have to walk up the driveway. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to push me up there anymore.
This looks like a pretty low traffic street, is it?
It
not?
is pretty
It
low.
is. And
Maybe
he
you
could
could walk on the street.
But he won't.
He won't. You try to get him to do it, and he won't? She's browbeating you into walking, and you won't do it.
I've told him, you got an electric wheelchair, go out and go around the block in an electric wheelchair.
I was thinking more in terms of aerobic activity, you know, you got that.
Understood. Well, you talk to him, please.
It's not my job to tell him what to do or whatever, but I will say this, people who do more aerobic activity, they are healthier and they live longer. You know, when you have people who are like quadriplegics, they have very short life expectancy, like
'Cause they can't.
10
walk.
years, because they don't move. That's what the reason why they die early is, because they don't move. It's not because they're quadriplegic so much as they just can't get any exercise, literally, or unable to. And Christopher Reeves, you know, Superman, he was very high level quadriplegic, and his life expectancy, he pretty much died right on the chart, you know, in terms of that, because it's so hard on your body when you can't get
Well,
any
sure,
exercise.
your lungs and
All of that.
everything can.
Oh, you don't have to give her any more ideas, please.
Okay, I'll cease and desist. Okay. But I just say this, is if you can move around, it'd be excellent idea to do it. That's why the aqua therapy is good.
Absolutely.
That's why you like it, because you can move. That's why you feel good when you do it, right?
Yes, as I said, there was a shallow end of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
It was up about 1.5 foot step. I'd step up there, and I'd try to walk across that pool with nothing, you know, no.
Mm-hmm. You can do that?
No.
It wasn't a pretty sight.
Because
Bradley would hold your hand as you.
Sometimes-
it was too shallow though, right?
Yes.
If it had been a little deeper, you could probably do it.
Oh yeah, I mean I could walk across it deeper, and the shallow end is only like up to here.
You said it was 3 feet, right?
Not, yeah, at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, you know, he'd have to hold my hand, but I could go across.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
He
At
liked
Melbourne
that.
Terrace at the Hydro Works, that was 4.5 feet.
Yeah,
What if you had a pool in your backyard?
I think, yeah, we were talking about that. That's why we're talking about that.
Endless pool.
We don't have enough room for a regular pool.
Why would you want an endless pool unless you're swimming in it?
Because the endless pool, you can have a treadmill in the bottom
Yeah,
to make
yeah, you
him
can.
walk against it.
But if you had like a shallow pool that was the perfect depth for you, it was 4.5 feet deep, let's say, if that was the perfect depth for you, you could walk back and forth there all day long, you know, so.
That's true. I was just thinking with the endless pool, they have jets
They do.
that
Right.
make you,
That was
you
one of the
work
things
against
that's one of the things he did.
that's
is
what I was thinking.
At Melbourne, it has big jets on the end and on the side.
So there's resistance.
He turned the jets on just to see if I could keep my balance sometimes.
But you're right, John, just any one.
Well, I've seen both ways. I do know people who put what they call it a lap pool. It's a long, narrow pool.
Yeah.
It's very narrow. And so you could just swim laps, but a lot of people use it for therapeutic reasons. It would be shorter than a lap pool, but it would be long enough where you could walk back and forth. And you get in it, and it's you can make it the depth that you want, you know. So for you, you're short. What are you, 5'2"? What are you?
I'm about 5'8".
Are you really?
Yes.
You just look so short. Yeah, I see now. You're tall. You're
That's
taller.
because of my knees.
Yeah, well, we have a little problem. We can't put anything out in the back. Why we thought the endless pool, we're gonna have to put, we're on city water, but we're on a septic system.
You have a septic tank out back?
Yeah, so I can't go. In fact, we had a little problem fitting our,
Maybe it's not feasible here. I don't know. So.
It would be, but
we're gonna, that's why we're looking at a long, narrow one. A lap pool probably, we wanna put it on the side here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
it belongs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
We're even looking at that thermal spa, swim spa.
No, that's not.
Well,
You have a board? Or are you sitting on a board?
yes, I believe I have one. There's a board still in here, dear?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just that when he sits in that chair,
You have a power chair.
he does.
Yeah.
You have this chair.
That's correct.
Is that the walker, that's a Hemi walker you use?
Yes.
You discontinued the regular AFO, it was not comfortable, the ankle foot orthotic.
Oh my God, it was brutal.
Yeah. But you use a drugstore kind of support, I don't see it on you today.
I haven't worn it in a while. We've been doing, it's actually a lot, some of that was because when I was doing my therapy, I would actually wear the drugstore thing.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
said, when is my ankle gonna get stronger? He said, it's not as long as you wear those braces. You know, we wore those because what did they call it? Your foot does this?
Pronate?
A pronate and supinate.
Roll to the side.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's how I fell.
Mm-hmm.
I had a tendency to do that. So that's why we were wearing it. And he said it won't, so I started doing therapy without it, just to build the strength.
Do you have foot drop on your left foot? Does it point down like that if you lift it up off the, can you lift it up off the thing? You don't really. Some people, they get the
Yeah,
shortening
not
of the
foot.
Achilles area, and when that tendon in the heel shortens, it forces your foot down into a point
Move
like
your
that.
thing, move your,
You haven't had any skin breakdown at all?
No, I haven't.
yes.
Okay. No foot drop, no decubitus ulcers. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Pressure sores like on your heels or,
No, he
No.
doesn't seem to have any of that. I do make sure though when he's in bed that he has a pillow, you know, to keep free heel or whatever.
okay. You have other equipment? You have a raised toilet bowl?
Oh, yes.
He
You got a
has,
big high china bowl like a,
he has a handicap toilet and he has what they call a toilet riser underneath that. I'll
Handicapped
show it to
toilet
you.
and another 4 inches.
okay, so you built it way up, you got a grab bar next to it
Yeah, we got a couple.
on the right-hand side so you can grab
One
it?
on the right and one out in front of me.
Okay, all right, so you can use it independently?
I can get into it independently. She still has to be there for certain activities.
Okay, she helps clean you up?
Correct.
He can't like pull his pants down or anything.
Okay. You can't do that one-handed with your right hand?
He doesn't have the balance.
I don't have the balance to stand there and do it.
Okay,
If I had another hand to keep balance, of course I could. but
okay, all right, okay.
Same reason I really can't clean myself up isn't that I can't reach around. To reach around and keep your balance is another story.
Okay, you afraid you might fall off the toilet?
Yeah, well, after he's done, I mean, after he
Yeah.
stands up,
Stand
Oh,
up.
after you stand
then I
up?
have to,
You clean him up when he's standing up? Okay, you
Yeah,
can't reach
can't
around
do
and
that.
clean yourself up while you're still sitting there?
no.
No, I don't think there'd be enough room in there. As big as I am, my butt's even bigger.
Okay. I hate to put this on video, you know, that kind of stuff, but,
Well, so be it.
okay. But you help from Marcy. I'll leave it at that. You still playing golf too?
I play once a week if I
You
can.
still do?
I try to. I'm getting ready to have my knee replaced though, so
Oh,
I
I
will
was gonna
be.
ask you about that. I read you had one done and you were,
This one was done in 2011 and I am actually scheduled for April 9th. And I-
April 9th?
Yes, I just got the date last.
what are you gonna do about helping him while you're recovering?
I have a caregiver and,
We had a caregiver would come in maybe. See, Marcy normally at the golf course.
What's her name? Is it Gloria?
Greta.
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 Greta, I knew it was something.
Marcy normally just plays right over our golf course is right over here, a couple miles.
Okay,
And so normally she can go first thing in the morning and comes right back, you know.
okay.
She'll be back sometime before noon.
Okay, you can handle that.
Yeah.
He
All
doesn't
right.
like getting up in the morning.
And if she goes out of town, Miss Greta would come and
Okay.
Stay the day.
she'd stay the day.
All right. Okay, so
Anytime.
she still comes once a week?
Well, she was. She was coming once a month for me simply because I was trying to play in some tournaments on a monthly basis. And then I would play league, but see, our league takes off at 7:30 in the morning, so I'm home at 11:30 or before, especially in the summer.
Always, I would just love to be the first group off on
We
a
are.
Saturday.
We're
First
early
group off, and you don't
on
have to worry
Saturday.
about that, you just go.
Yeah,
And we
So-
always walked, we walked.
absolutely.
So this caregiver, we thought we were doomed. Her sister's coming down, but she can't really
To
take
help
care
me,
Mhm.
my
She's
sister,
coming down to take care of her.
for my rehab.
So you're gonna get Greta to come spend more time with you?
Yeah, Greta, she and her boyfriend were gonna travel the country. They were going to Alaska. And she was nice enough when she heard this.
Mm-hmm.
She
To
said,
change your plans?
yeah, well, originally they said, what we'll do is we'll go to Alaska, drive all the way to Alaska, only stay 2 weeks and turn around and come back. And she changed her mind. They're just gonna go up to, she's originally from the Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna go up and visit her now up there and come back down and take, well, she's gonna come to
They're
take,
gonna go to Alaska some other time, sounds like,
yeah.
No, what she did was when she found out how costly it is
in
to
Alaska.
put Steve
Oh.
into a facility for the 6 weeks that it's gonna take me
Mhm.
to rehab enough to be able to help him again.
How much was it?
It was, the cheapest one was $260 a day. And that is only for a bed and 3 squares and somebody to help with the bathroom. It's not any
That's
therapy or,
assisted living kind of place?
it's a rehab
Mhm.
center, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nursing home, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And at any rate, when she found that out, she said, well, I'm quitting my job anyway for now. And I will come back and I will take care of Steve. I won't even look for another job. I will take care of Steve for you until,
That's a really good helper, that's,
she's been a wonderful friend to us. So she is going to, she knows it's 7 days a week and she is going to do it for less money.
now who is this? What's her name?
Greta,
This is Greta gonna do this?
Greta Stewart.
Oh,
yes.
Greta, yeah, sure, okay. I
And
thought
so
that-
she
might be
has
talking about
become our
another
lifesaver, and she is going to do this for less money than it would have
person. Yeah,
cost us.
okay.
And,
How much is she gonna charge you?
well, we, believe it or not, she said, let's just sit down and talk about that later. Just to let you know, I'm gonna do it. So, we haven't come down with that. As soon as I
I
got
read in
it,
the depot how much she was normally charging, but she
Right.
was coming once a month. and-
right.
So it wasn't unreasonable.
No, not at all. She'd be here today, and she would charge us usually $150.
It was like $13 an hour, as I recall.
Yeah, we've gone up over that over the years.
Yes,
It's
okay.
like to 14, but just the
Okay.
same. She has done this to be a good friend of ours.
Okay, that's still pretty reasonable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, those costs aren't, it's costly.
And do you have anybody who comes here every day to do anything?
No, Marcy does it all.
Marcy does everything.
I do.
So you're talking about depression.
Shall I interview her too?
About depression, yes,
No.
Okay.
and justifiably, by the way.
Yeah, it's just hard work. The caregivers have a hard, it's not easy. I understand that. There's a lot of literature on caregiver
You don't-
burnout.
You don't even know it all. She takes care of me, and her mother lives here, who's 100 years
I was
old.
gonna ask about that, because there was a mention of where is she? She's here?
She
on the
is.
back
She's
porch,
staying
is
in
she?
her room today. She said,
I haven't heard a peep from her.
Well, she's
I
in
haven't
her,
heard
she's
a
in her
door
room.
move or a toilet
She's
flush,
probably
nothing.
reading. No, I don't think she has.
This
come.
is your mother,
My mom.
okay?
She's almost 101. She'll be 101 in June.
Wow.
And she has her
What's her
own,
first name again?
Alberta.
she has her own
Alberta.
bedroom and own little living room with her.
101.
And in June, she will be, yeah. Here we are, just speaking about, I hear a noise.
Did you?
I
I thought I did.
think that was Kyle. but
That was
it's
just
Oh,
me. I
I'm
turned.
sorry. It was Mom.
You guys are like old friends with Kyle?
No, just met him.
You guys are talking with Kyle, yeah.
Well, we
looks like
just
a
met
friendly
him
sort of
half an
guy.
hour before you
Oh,
came
okay, he
in.
looks like a nice
We're
guy.
friendly people.
Yes, you are. So you're looking after your mother, and you're looking after your husband. So you're doing double duty caregiving.
Yeah, her mother gets around by herself. She's much better than I am, put it that way. At
Mhm.
101, she's way better than I am.
Yes, my mother's still.
But
the same
she's still
as
101, you know.
Yeah.
And she occasionally, mostly,
Balance and things like
Balance.
that are my fears with her now. She still has a better appetite than any of us.
And she'll get, she comes up with some great, she's talking, still my favorite is we were watching the Yankees last year. Big Yankee fan with that Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "You call this good?" I said, "Yes, he just hit another home run." She said, "Well, I'm used to watching Babe Ruth." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I eulogize my wife's grandmother. She lived to be 99. She lived in one century. She was born in 1900 and died in 1999. A couple weeks before her 99th birthday, actually. But she was born in, the president when she was born was William McKinley. And the president
Is
of
that
her youth,
1905 or something, right?
well, she was born in 1900.
Oh, she was born in 1970,
Yeah.
thank you.
But the president of her youth was Roosevelt, but it wasn't FDR, it was Theodore Roosevelt. And her father had taxis, and the taxis in Savannah were horse-drawn taxis when she was born. And the Wright brothers didn't fly till I think it was 1903 or something like that. So she was born before the Wright brothers, but the first time she ever got on an airplane, she was like 70 years old. She flew from Jacksonville, Florida to Las Vegas to gamble.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
So she was fun to eulogize
I
because
was
her
gonna
life
say.
was this sweep of history.
And my mother the same,
And
you
so
know?
they didn't have television when she was a kid.
Oh, gosh, no.
They didn't even have radio when
No.
she was a kid. They didn't have radio in
It's an
1900.
amazing, think about it. It's,
Mm-hmm.
mother was born in 1917.
All right, here's a question. Okay, so her grandmother, when she was a little girl, when she was, I guess it wasn't a little girl, she didn't, I guess it was, she was 15, in 1915. She went to Washington, D.C. for a huge parade. Her parents took her to Washington, D.C. It was the biggest parade ever at that time up Pennsylvania Avenue. What do you think it was in 1915? What were they celebrating?
It had to be it wasn't an inauguration.
No?
1915.
World War I hadn't occurred yet.
No.
Most people say the suffragettes, the women to get the vote. It wasn't that either. What it was is they had a parade of all the Civil War veterans who are still alive for the 50 years after the Civil War was over, and all these old guys who are our age. And some of these people fighting the Civil War were teenagers, you know.
That's correct.
And so they marched, each state had a contingent, and they had bands, that each state had their contingent and had a band and all this kind of stuff. So there weren't 50
amazing
states
stuff.
back then, but there were, a lot of people. And they went up because they had a couple of relatives marching in it, so they went up and watched the Civil War, 50 years. That's amazing.
Sure, that was 18.
And she just died in 1999, and when I eulogized her, I said the Civil War was closer to her birthday than her death was to the Vietnam War.
Right.
So anyway, okay, so Alberta's your mother. She's 101, and she's in pretty decent health for 101.
She's in very good health for 101.
That bodes well for you.
It does.
But nobody's coming here to help out.
No, just Greta. And my sister is gonna come and help me
Just Greta and your sister.
my rehab, just while I rehab. She's from Ohio.
Okay.
Because I know from my first replacement, it wasn't immediate.
It takes a while.
It takes a while.
And the older you get, a little bit slower to heal, I would say,
Correct.
usually. Kyle, you tell me if you're running out of tape. But
No,
I'm
you're
not
good.
using tape.
No, you've got plenty of time here. I can change the batteries eventually, but I've got plenty of time.
All right.
We're jawing a lot.
I didn't even tell them about my U.S. Open Jack Nicklaus story.
Oh, yeah?
You don't need to here.
He's compelled to tell his golf stories.
This is life.
That's one of my favorites.
This is life.
Are you seeing a physiatrist, rehab doctor? Well, the same specialty as Dr. Lyles?
No,
No.
never failed.
Okay.
Just to show you, what do they call
Physiatrist. He used to say doctor of rehabilitation medicine, but that's what his specialty is, but they changed it years ago. I guess it's interchangeable. Not to be confused with psychiatrist, it's physiatrist.
them? Is there such
Doctor
a
of
thing as
physical
a
medicine.
physiologist?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do they do?
It's a specialist in sort of human movements.
Oh my
movement
God, one of my doctors in Sea Pines was a lady. She would come in, never in my life, she'd massage my back for a second. It was unbelievable.
Feel good?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yes.
Okay. They know all about the neuromuscular
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, because, that was because my
Oh, you
shoulder.
can get a PhD in that. I mean, there are people very well educated human movement.
That was because I had a subluxation in the left shoulder after my stroke,
Okay. Did you have shoulder surgery?
No,
Okay. Your shoulder looks pretty high on the left. It's higher than your right. Is it just the way you're leaning?
probably.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know how we got it, just through exercise, we
Okay.
did. I have a,
Well, I had to tape it.
she used
For a
to
long
tape and
time.
everything, and then we have like a thing for your feet, like a pedal.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
We put it on the table, I do it with my hands.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
Do you have something like that at home?
yeah.
We have it right here. That's the
Okay. And you use it?
extent
Yes,
of
okay.
his exercise of his arms,
use it every day?
shoulders.
No, not now. We go on strings, well, I'll do it every day for a bit, and then, it just seems to me like for somebody retired and sick and all that, we have a awfully busy schedule with doctor appointments and
Yeah.
between her appointments and my appointments and her mother's appointments, and,
You're always going somewhere.
yes.
Okay.
Just about when we think we have a clear schedule, somebody will call, like Dr. Karras. Oh, yes, you have an appointment Tuesday.
Okay, we talked about the therapies. Is that that's an Invacare wheelchair?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a special order.
It's an extra wide?
It is, but see, the problem is with that wheelchair, I have to take one of the rails off because of the width of it with the rails on.
These-
You know,
these
you'll
rails
notice
that you would
the
normally use
handrail
for a,
on the
Is
right
that a
side.
one-arm drive wheelchair?
no, is
No,
there
it's
such a
not.
thing?
Yeah. You can't fold it up, but it has an axle. And so if you just push that one with one arm, you'll go around in circles.
Correct.
Right.
But if you push one that has an axle through it, if you can, I'm sure you're familiar with, since you did golf, if you had a golf cart with no axle, it would, if one wheel was turning, it would just go around in circles, the same with a wheelchair. If you have
Oh,
an
I-
axle, you can go one-wheel drive.
We never even knew
There's no,
something existed.
nobody ever told us about that.
Yeah.
But the
Physical
problem with
therapists,
this one, this is
you can't
Steve's
fold it
second.
up very easily, that's the problem.
Well, we don't take it anywhere really.
Yeah, so if we're gonna go someplace where I'm gonna be out of it or whatever, I take the power chair anyway.
But the problem with it is by taking that rail off, it reduces the strength of the other wheel, and the other one was breaking down. This is the second chair. This one cost me $950 right out of pocket, and that didn't include Medicare and our supplement that pays monthly for 13 months or something.
Well, that's not an expensive wheelchair, believe it or not.
Well,
They go up from there.
I was gonna say, we didn't know there was an extra, a
After
different
Medicare and
kind.
all that,
But Medicare pays
Well, after,
$63 a
well,
month.
no, I don't, it depends about how much. But you can get a wheelchair for $950 for the whole
I'm
thing.
just saying that's how much it is
Oh,
after
yeah.
the other ones
I can look
pay.
that one up. I got the model number and everything. I can look it up. I've got resources for that.
That's an XLT.
Yeah, it is.
And that one, we got through Brownings, but That's the second chair that you've had, because the first one, the bearings go right out of them.
We were coming up the driveway and the rubber fell right off the wheel on one of them.
Well, again, as big as you are, it's harder on a wheelchair.
Exactly.
Get a skinny person like me in a wheelchair, I'm not
Exactly.
gonna wear it out and you're in it all day, a lot, right?
Yeah, he's
Now, you're
in
not
that
playing
lot.
wheelchair basketball or anything like that, but you're in it a lot, and
Right.
so it's like a car you don't drive very often. It lasts a lot longer if you don't drive it. You know, you put a lot of miles on a car, it wears out. You put a lot of time in a wheelchair, it's going to wear out.
Well, he does that.
I don't know, it depends. She says yes.
What time do you usually get up out of bed?
He doesn't like getting up before 11 o'clock.
But the key is
Unless
I
we have
have
something.
to go back at 3 or 4 o'clock for my afternoon nap before dinner.
You take an afternoon nap?
Oh,
He
yes.
Man, I wish I could do
He
that.
got used to that at Sea Pines, and he just has to have that hour nap. The other thing is when Steve is in his bed, he has his urinal.
Mhm.
So he can relieve himself and take care of himself, you know.
That's not a problem.
And that's something that relieves me too. You know, he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to get up and go to the bathroom just to take a leak. So that is easier on me too.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good bed. He has a very comfortable, he likes his bed.
I have a hospital bed.
You guys sleep in the same room but not in the same bed?
Right, he has a hospital bed. And
Okay.
Well,
I just push mine up next to him.
Okay.
Yes, she has a Tempur-Pedic
20.
movable bed. And we just go side by side.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I used to have a Tempur. We had 2 Tempur-Pedics side by side, but I broke mine.
You're hard on equipment, Steve.
He is very hard on
Hard on equipment. You go through golf equipment like that too?
Yes. I had a bit of a temper out there.
Did you? Oh. I played golf with this guy named Billy, and he would get so mad at himself he'd cry on the golf course. And we threw a golf club. We got stuck up in a tree at Bainbridge Country Club in Bainbridge, Georgia. And the tree ate the club. It was stuck up in the tree. And so he threw another club to try to get it out.
Of course.
And that one stuck up there, you know. And so after 3 clubs were struck up in the tree, he left and
And the cost.
we went back to the pro shop, and I told the pro, says, "Man, I hate to tell you, but I left 3 clubs up in the tree on number 16 or whatever hole it was." And he says, "This is the big oak tree on the left with all the Spanish moss." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." He's got a giant ladder for that purpose.
Oh.
So many people leave clubs and balls with
Get
it
out.
up in the tree. Yeah, he said, "Well, I can get them out. How high up is it?" "Not that high, 20 feet." He says, "Okay, we'll get them for you. You can get stick a ladder on a pickup truck." Wasn't just for that purpose. They just happened to have a big extension ladder.
They were nice. We would have just left them up in the tree. If you were mad enough to throw it, it was your problem.
This guy would cry on the golf course. You're able to tell really good history. Who you are and where you are, and you're what they call oriented. You know approximately what time of day it is and all that kind of business. Do you have any issues with your thinking?
No, not bad. I have
You seem
noticed
like you're pretty- yeah.
sometimes, it doesn't even have to be long or short. It doesn't really matter. I might look at Kyle and I know his name. It just doesn't come to me, And that bothers me a little bit, but not often, but sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Something I know really well, and I'll have to ask Marcy,
And who's that guy? Yeah.
Sometimes, but my memory is bad. I know in
A lot of people who have strokes that's their main issue is cognitive problems. Now, the location of your stroke on the right-hand side where it was, it didn't affect your most of your memory or your cognition. And emotionally you seem to be, you don't have what they call labile emotions. You're crying and then you're laughing or something like that. You don't have these big swings in your emotions that I can tell.
fortunately, no.
You don't seem to have that. But,
He has what I call spatial
Mhm.
relationship
Okay,
issues
Okay.
where he thinks if we're driving and he's riding with me, he thinks
Something's right there.
that's right. Or he will, when we just drive through the drive with his electric chair, he has to be very, very careful about where he's at. Because he doesn't see, he's never to the right enough, it seems, like when we go up the ramp. I'm always saying, get to the right, get to
Well,
the
it's
right.
called neglect. You know, you just, your brain sort of, because of the insult that
The
you've
left-
had,
Yeah,
you have difficulty knowing exactly where you are in
Exactly.
space. It's called proprioception. And the other things, you have like a neglect on the left side. Maybe you don't see or tend to things on the left side as much as you do on the right side.
true.
So you might run into things on the left-hand side.
Right.
you
The
know,
other
so-
thing is that Steve has to, for example, when we're getting up, he has to get everything ordered in his mind. You know, it takes time for him to be able to focus or to get
Okay.
things ordered
I do
or
know
to be
when I
ready.
first had my stroke and they gave me speech therapy, oh, they gave me all kinds of tests to see if I could put things, you know, math.
How'd you do on them?
Good.
Yeah,
I was like, no time at all. They
he's
said, well,
pretty
you
good
don't
with
need
all
any of that. I remember the hardest one is they just take a paragraph, you know, with all the words out of place.
Okay, and you have to fill in the blanks kind of thing?
Yeah, and you decide what it's trying to tell you. I was really good at that. I could look at that, figure that out in no time. It's probably because that's the way I type on
You still use a computer?
my cell phone.
Okay.
So I only have the one hand. I have to do it with a thumb. You ought to see
Mhm.
some of my messages.
Can you use a computer?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a little internet search or something like that, or?
Oh, he's on all the time on his phone. He spends all his time on his phone.
You have a smartphone, you like to
Yes.
goof around with that?
And he has one that, you know, he just puts a thing where you talk to it. It's
Yeah,
easier to.
Okay, right. So you do the PGAtour.com thing?
Sure.
Look at the scores and you wait 30 minutes and look at them again. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
you can watch and see where the ball's going and all the whole
Yeah.
thing? Mm-hmm.
I'm a Jordan Spieth fan right now.
Okay. He's a good player.
Besides that, he's, as far as athletes go, he's a wonderful gentleman.
Mm-hmm. Golf needed a guy like that.
Yeah, they sure
Agreed.
did.
As I mentioned, from Tiger, he's not quite the gentleman that you would hope he would.
Oh, no, I know.
They just love him because of his talent, you know.
That's right.
And that's why they were talking about how they
His
can't believe how
tenacity.
big a comeback he's made. I said, you know what? Nobody would really care. If Jordan Spieth had continued playing the way he started,
Mm-hmm.
no one would really care if Tiger made a comeback. But because there isn't another Tiger out there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's his name, Justin, this guy that's kind of taking...
Thomas.
Justin Thomas.
He's
He's
pretty
He's
good.
He's a nice player.
He's,
isn't
very
he?
good.
he's won like 7 times in 25 tournaments or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
he's Jordan's best buddy.
Yeah, you've seen the pictures of them as kids together? Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. You haven't seen a neuropsychologist other than when you were in the rehab center, correct? Like all those tests you're talking about. I think you're pretty fine as far as your thinking and your, you know.
And they seem to think so. I had maybe 2 different ones in there, and they were both like, you don't have any issues here.
You know, people have had strokes. I mean, that you're the rare person. It's maybe you have a few little issues, but you're pretty much intact as far as I can tell. Just, you know, conversing with you. Because you're telling me recent things that you remember Kyle's name over and over again, you know, and that's a new person you just met. That's what they call new learning. But you could talk about, you know, all these golf stories from years ago and recent and remote events. And so I'm impressed. I didn't realize you're probably able to tell stories all night long. Whether they're completely true or not, you know.
Oh, yes. I literally have people come down to visit me and they try to get the old stories going, and even though they've heard them 50 times, you know.
Yeah.
I'm of a belief that my favorite saying is, who was some famous writer or something, said, "Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story."
Okay. Was that Mark Twain?
Could have been, I'm not sure.
Who was it that said golf is a good walk spoiled?
Wasn't that, Lee Trevino or?
No, way further back in time. A good walk spoiled.
That was probably Mark Twain or somebody. I've heard it a million times and can't tell you who it was.
Churchill. Winston
Churchill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that in your repertoire.
Are
will you?
those FootJoy shoes you got on?
Huh? No,
They're not FootJoys?
no, we're not.
They look like them. I got a couple pair just like them, only black.
Yeah. I ordered these. I can forget where I ordered them, but I'll order my. You wear special shoes? You don't.
Well,
Yeah,
these are just
They
sneakers.
just have to be
Yeah.
extra wide and.
You got a power. Do you have a hover round? Is that what you have?
Yes.
Okay. The extra large one?
It's right there. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it out before I
Yeah.
leave. You have a portable wheelchair ramp?
No.
Okay. You need one?
I don't think so. We have a ramp here, and of course the van has a ramp that comes out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my friends, the only people who really go see, he was nice enough, he built a ramp on his front so I can go into his house.
Okay, that's a good guy.
Yes, it is.
But you don't use the orthotic on your left ankle, left hand. You do have.
No, I really wish there was something that we could put on Steve's hand because it's gotten so
Well,
tight.
a lot of those hands, I had to wear one myself on both my hands temporarily, but it holds your, one little finger is not quite straight, but it holds your hand out, but puts pressure on it.
I was gonna
And
say,
some
it
of them
hurts.
literally have rubber bands and it holds, a lot of people complain about them, but it's like no pain, no gain kind of thing, but unfortunately, even if it straightens your fingers out, it's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
allow
it
you
would.
to
No,
use
Yeah.
your fingers, that's the issue.
my point is,
function
I
versus
worry
looking
about
at
it being so, like this, it's so spastic.
You have to trim his nails?
Yes, and when we try to bring them out, it hurts him. So I've tried to put like just a flexible little thing inside and then like wrapped
The only
it.
thing I can do,
Just
like I can.
Well,
just-
Give it a
there's an
little-
actual product you can use. You don't have the catalogs for this kinds of stuff, do you?
Well, apparently not. I do have something. It's like a flexible, it's spongy, rubbery thing.
It's almost like a tiny little dumbbell shaped slightly. It's kind of tapered and you put it in the hand.
Just to give him a little
You see
relief.
the exerciser, you see what that is? It's
I know
shaped
it.
like an egg
I've seen
and they
that.
have different, some of them are real springy and others are more
Right.
firm. They're different colors, like the.
We have a thing that.
I don't think about it
And
as
you
far
can
as.
put that
making
in
it-
there,
Just to give him some relief from this.
Yeah. You trim his toenails and his fingernails?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You go to a podiatrist?
I've
He's
been
been
to it
once.
at one time. My favorite doctor on the planet.
Seriously?
Well, the reason was because I had an ingrown
Terrible.
toenail and I was like,
Painful. This is before you had your stroke?
no,
No.
it was after.
Okay.
And I was dreading the fact that they're gonna have to, pull the toenail off or something. I know that's painful. So when he came in, I said, are we gonna pull it off? He goes, no, I like to go the way less painful way. I was like,
That's why you like him so much.
you're my favorite. And he did. He got in there and kind of cut the corner of it off. Anyways, he was a nice man.
Okay. Okay. Got the adjustable bed.
Yes.
Yes.
Did Medicare help pay for that?
No.
You pay for it yourself? What'd you pay for it?
35, 36, somewhere in there.
Does that include the mattress?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
in
called
Belcare.
Span America.
Is that what it is? What is it called?
Well,
Span-
Invacare makes them.
Well, this one I got through our local, or, in Melbourne, our
A medical supply company.
medical pharmacy, and found the one, because it has to be longer.
Do you use the transfer board when you transfer, or you just?
Oh, no,
Not anymore,
not anymore.
not anymore.
That was a pretty scene.
Well, they make them in all sizes,
Yes, they do.
but you don't have a lift at all.
No.
No.
If we ever have a pool, we're gonna have a lift.
No, pretty much if I fall, no lift, we just immediately call the
911.
911. We have a very nice fire department here.
I looked up the information, and this town has 40-something thousand people. I just didn't know that.
We're a very large area.
It's a huge area. I think we're,
I mean, Palm Bay is like, most of it is on west of the interstate, right? But it goes all the way over to the river.
Correct.
It's so shabby up by the river. Usually it's the high-end real
Right.
estate's up by the river. Here at Palm Bay, go by the
Oh.
river, it looks terrible.
it is
We're
too.
a
It's
very
it's what we
large
call
land
old
mass.
Florida
But I
now.
looked up Palm Bay because I've lived in Florida most of my life, and I just wasn't familiar with Palm Bay for some reason. I've been everywhere in the state of Florida, almost every town, but I didn't really know about
I
Palm Bay.
think I saw a
I-
sign that it was incorporated the year you were born.
50.
I think, something like that.
There's
It must have gotten bigger and bigger.
Oh,
it
it's
did.
grown, it's
There's-
just
I mean,
grown
in terms of
unbelievably.
incorporating additional land.
Yes, they're trying to incorporate this area called Belcaria, and they said if they do, they'll become bigger in area than Jacksonville, which is the biggest city.
Yeah, right, wow. Huh. That'd be the whole section of, this is still Volusia, Brevard County, right?
Yeah.
Brevard,
Yes,
yes.
Brevard
Go
County,
right up to Cocoa,
yeah,
Titusville.
okay, wow. So it's a 40, and you have this, it's mostly white people, I take, and you got this black mayor, and he's, I saw him on the video, and he was such a booster of the town. He said, we're gonna make this place great, and they're gonna do this, and we're doing that, and here's this road coming through here, and we're gonna have this, and the Harris Corporation, and on and on and on about all this stuff, And I said, whoa, this guy's enthusiastic, you know what I'm talking about, your mayor?
Yeah,
Don't even know who he is.
Really? Well, anyway, he's an African-American guy, and he's like, if he's still the mayor or not, but he's online when you go like to Palm Bay, and it says, here's a video about our city, and so you click on it, and there's your mayor giving you a tour of the city. So
There's not much of a city per se.
I can't find it. Where's there a downtown? There
we
isn't
don't
one.
have a downtown Palm Bay. We're like so
Yeah.
close to Melbourne. They're trying to
Yeah.
come up with a downtown Palm Bay. But right now, we're just a whole bunch of little areas.
Do you use a life alert around your neck?
No, I don't.
You thought about it?
I've thought about it.
I have, as a matter of fact, if I ever get one of those carts and I get out there.
It's about $30 a month.
Is it?
Yeah, but you gotta pay for kind of startup costs, and it's about, it was 30, might be a little higher than the last time I checked. Do you use any kind of supplies? You use undergarments?
Yes.
Yes.
Like adult
Adult underwear.
adult underwear?
Correct.
Disposable?
Disposables, yes.
How
Yeah.
many you use a day? One or two?
One.
1 to 2.
I don't, generally speaking, when I get up in the morning, I don't put them on. I'll come out for breakfast, and then I'll go do my thing in the bathroom. And if I'm gonna come out here for the afternoon,
Okay,
I'll put them on if I'm gonna be sitting there for a while.
Or if
okay.
we go somewhere.
There's some days you don't put them on at all?
No, I don't put
No,
them,
he does every day, but
if
some
I'm,
days up to 2, usually 2.
Do you leak a little, or you can control that perfectly?
No,
no, can't control.
that's what that urinal is for.
Okay.
I'll tell you
I mean,
what,
you have urgency is what I'm saying.
yes.
You gotta go kind of thing.
Right.
To be honest with you, one of the worst things about my whole stroke is my whole bathroom situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely the worst. I can't get the number 2 in any sort of pattern.
Okay.
know, they tried like hell even in there, and when I was in the,
Try to get you regulated.
yeah, they gave me some, it was such a fabulous time. This is definitely not great for video, but, you know, they gave me the suppository the same time every night, trying to get me to go, trying to get me on a rhythm.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. So now I might go for, the worst part is, I feel like I gotta go 24/7.
Okay, have a fullness kind of a feel.
Yeah, like I mean,
Like right now, you can sense that you've got that same fullness,
yeah.
but you don't know if you have to go or not.
I might have her rush me in sometime to go, and then I don't go, you know.
Okay.
Or other times I'll rush and maybe barely make it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Sometimes that last walk, you know, getting from the outside of my bathroom to that is like the longest. You know, it's like I'm trying to rush, and it's like, good God.
do you think you need to have somebody here with you besides your wife during the day? At least part of the day?
Well, I know it sure as hell would help her.
Like 3 or 4 hours a day, you know, you should give her a break.
Yeah. You know, I know this much. It's great. She has a friend that comes down and visit. And it's so nice just for the little things like, could I get another cup of coffee type thing, you know. Her friend will get up, I'll get it. She'd always get it, you know.
I'm just thinking that, you know, maybe you don't need a skilled person to be a kind of personal care attendant. You would call somebody like that.
Almost like just your time. Yeah, I understand.
You don't need a nurse, medical professional.
Just a babysitter,
So,
someone.
well, not that really, but just to help you with your personal care and give Marcy a break. You know, just maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days a week, you know, part-time, just to let you play golf whenever you want to, or go shopping whenever you want to. Take your mother to the doctor or back, something like that. If you ever had a nurse come to visit you here, like a registered nurse to check your blood pressure and stuff like that?
Only when we
Only
first
when
came
we-
home
yes,
and he
when
was
I-
on warfarin.
Yeah, they had to check the blood, you know,
That's the only time we've ever had a nurse come
yeah.
for him.
Okay.
Other than that, I have my own blood pressure cup.
Okay, you can take it yourself, or Marcy
Yes.
can?
Yes, in fact, I thought I was having some issues with my AFib. I don't really know what AFib feels like when you're having a bout with it, you know.
I think people know it when they have it, though.
Well, I think I know. To me, it
I
feels
mean,
like,
it's just this big fluttering feeling, and you
It
start to
feels
lose
like
your
when you're-
breath. You think you're going to die sometimes.
no, it feels like, you know when you're really scared,
Yeah,
you know,
panic.
and you know your heart starts.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels to me. I describe it as being really scared. I can feel my heart start to,
Are you still in line for a pacemaker, maybe? I
no,
mean, defibrillator?
no. I asked the doctor just the other day, Curious wasn't there, Dr. Wes Jones was there. Anyways, he said, not to worry. He said, the only thing to worry about, he told me, was that when you feel that way, you might want to check, make sure your heartbeat's not up over 110. So I felt that way the other day, and we did it, my heartbeat was 69.
Wow.
So I don't know why it would feel that way. 69 is pretty much right on the button.
Yeah, we shouldn't have that sensation if it's 69.
No,
that
no.
makes sense.
Anyways, he said, basically, I wouldn't lose sleep about it, is what he said. So.
Okay, all right. Well, it calmed you down a little bit, and not to worry, kind of this message.
I really haven't had much problem, but then again, I've stopped taking digoxin quite a while ago too, and I know
Okay.
the digoxin was the one that really slowed it down, wasn't it?
Probably. Well, look, is your house done as far as architectural modifications and that? I mean,
There are a few things that I would still like to have done that I would
Because I mean, it's just wide open. This house is wide open.
It is, well, when I take you into the other
Well, let's go,
room.
want to go on a little
Okay.
tour? Can Kyle follow us around?
Absolutely.
I'd like to see,
While you're going, can you give me a,
I'd like to see him walk too.
Okay, you wanna see that when we come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Put your brakes on your wheelchair. Yeah, he doesn't read a book.
you know, I read about a new golf swing. I can tell you every new golf swing developed.
What's your favorite golf movie?
Actually, my favorite golf movie?
Greatest game ever played?
Yeah, I think so.
There you
That is a fabulous movie.
Yeah.
go. Okay, come on with me, John, I'll show you. See, well, you can see, this is the narrowest part, so
Okay.
those are the things.
This is a support beam?
I honestly don't know that.
Doesn't sound like it.
I could have it removed and redone. Because when we first got,
Do you mind if I take a picture or two?
oh, not at all.
Okay. You guys are very accommodating and hospitable. I really appreciate that.
No, there's, we're
I gotta
here,
turn
we
my
live
phone.
here, what's
You
up?
can get my Jack Nicklaus scorecard up to your right there.
What's this over here?
Yeah.
So it's Jack Nicklaus's scorecard?
It's his
The last
famous
time he won the
Masters,
Masters.
Uh-huh.
the 86 Masters.
86 Masters.
Yeah.
If that was the original, I would think something of it. It would be unbelievable.
It is a copy of the original.
Yes.
I won it in
I
the golf
would
tournament.
imagine so. That was his greatest victory, I would say.
It was. What a comeback. Anyway,
Okay, let's see.
yes, we're
Okay.
golf people.
Yes, you're a golf people. My golf game has deteriorated so much. Let's see what's the best way to picture this. You're getting out of the picture, aren't you, Marcy? You don't want to be in the
I
picture.
know.
You got a wide open house.
Yes, that's the reason we bought it to start with. We liked
Is this a
it.
4-foot?
Yes. I don't know if it is.
Pretty close.
So at any rate, this is the hardest, and you can see what happened originally when
Okay.
we were panicked when we first got released.
I think this is a little shy of 4 feet, but it's
Yes.
bigger than 3, obviously.
Obviously, because that's how wide his chair
Do you
is.
have a tape measure?
I do.
I have one I usually bring with me, but I don't have it.
I've got probably 15.
Oh, and this was widened, I see?
Yes, I widened this doorway because I couldn't get the wheelchair in, because that's a regular size doorway, which is, let me find the guy behind you.
Is this 32
Go
inches
ahead.
or 36?
This is what I use. All right, this is, just so you know, the width of the hallway is 41.
Okay,
You
probably.
want to put it upside down? Yeah.
No, no,
You like
let's
it the other way?
see. This is, you can't even put it, Six, probably 42, but you got this right here.
Well, you've got
Support.
you got your baseboards.
Yeah,
so you gotta-
baseboards. It's 42, but with the baseboards, it's 41.
And that part inside is just about right for him to come through.
That's like 36 or something? This could go, if you can.
Well,
It'd be nice if
that's-
you could get that to go.
That's what I said, those are the things, I always have a wish list.
See, that's what I thought. I wouldn't think it was quite 36, and it's 34 3/4,
That's just easier to find, I can't
which
find
is
it.
an odd size.
It's not,
Let's see.
let me find your tape measure. I just
No, I got it's a 3/0 door. That's what they call a 3/0 door.
Can't get my hand on it right
3/0 means 3 feet.
now. Gotcha.
All right, let me take a picture of that. And his
Size.
shower.
This is Stevie's bathroom.
I see that. So he's got a twin size. You know what? You want to hear something really weird? I have that same pillowcase.
Nothing is ever simple.
Yes, I have the same exact
It's an old one.
pillowcase.
We've had it.
We've had ours 20-something years.
I was gonna say, my girlfriend
And when
gave
we
it to
go
me
to
out
like
of
a
college.
hotel or something like that, we take that because we know if it's a white, you might leave it, not remember to take it.
Isn't it funny?
And we have
That
two.
baby has been with us
And
forever.
we have another one with a cat on it, but that we have that same exact one.
Isn't that
That is
funny?
so funny.
Yes.
I would take this for my wife, not for any other reason.
Just because other people and my college roommate gave that to me.
Seriously. Well, I'll have to ask my wife where ours came from.
And how many years ago? I was gonna say it was maybe a couple of years after we graduated.
Mine is not as faded as yours. Yours is more worn out.
Well, I use mine.
Yeah, we do too. But
All
I
the
never-
time.
we don't, ours is our guest room, so
Okay.
no, it's.
No, I washed it.
Okay, so this was done?
This I had to have done. I had to open this up.
So you got about a 2-inch lip on there.
It's a 2x4.
Oh, okay,
Basically.
with tile on it.
Yep. And it came in and did that. And of course he has his chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I got him a nice little, he can shave and he hates
He
that.
can shave by himself, like with a one-handed shave?
Yes, and like this,
Can you have to
I
hand
have
it to
it,
him?
well, no, I got this, Lowe's $9.99, and that holds it. So
Mm-hmm.
we just turn it on and I pull it and get his towels ready and I walk away until
Okay.
he's done.
That gives him a lot of dignity to be able to do that
He
on his
does
own.
all that on his own, and then I have to come in, obviously, and help him get out. I usually pull the wheelchair in, and we have to have a
So
this done.
he gets up out of the wheelchair and transfers onto the bench.
Actually, what he usually does is go to the bathroom, and
Okay.
then from the bathroom he walks over, and I help
He
him.
kind of cleans himself up that way too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But
great.
when we redid it, I made these so he could. They're easier than they were
Yeah,
the
yeah,
turnies.
yeah. Mhm.
The handicap there and the
I see he's got a
handicap
platform.
toilet plus this toilet riser was much better. And
So
then
he's
there's-
up another 4 inches or something like that.
Well, he's tall.
He's a big guy.
And then he's got this one and this one to pull himself forward and
Okay,
up.
let me see that.
Because I actually considered trying to put something in the ceiling even. Like a pulley or something.
Well, they have what they call a trapeze. You've seen
Yeah,
that kind
that's
of thing?
what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
So that's as good. The only other thing I would ever do is maybe he kind of pulls in next to this. Is he have something he can pull under, but it's not necessary. I mean, yeah, it's just a plain,
There was a
you
little
know, it's
handle
just.
here maybe on this. This is.
Well, I'm just talking about pulling his wheelchair in
Oh,
underneath. But it
This is
doesn't
pretty tight.
necessary.
This is a pretty tight bathroom,
Well,
but you don't have much choice.
and if you were ever gonna really do something, you'd open the whole floor up so I wouldn't even have
Well,
to
you'd
walk
have to
over
give
it.
up your closet. See, if you gave up your
Exactly.
closet,
Exactly. That would be
and then turn your other bedroom into a closet, and you have a 1-bedroom house.
that would not happen. As that is, don't even go in there. I'm working on it.
No, but a lot of people
working
do
on
that. They open up the whole thing. The
Well-
bathroom does not have a door on it,
Okay.
and they have a big flat surface going in. You could actually turn a wheelchair around in the bathroom.
With a drain in the floor.
Put a drain in the floor.
Okay, now let me ask this question.
Just
When-
on a slab it is. You can still do it, but
Exactly.
you can still
But
do
let
it.
me ask this, because I've thought about that, having a drain that was in the floor that he could just turn around.
If you took this wall out right here,
Yeah,
you would lose your closet.
right,
You'd have this huge bathroom here.
right.
So
Give me this bedroom. But,
that would make your bathroom, it would not be that expensive because the plumbing part can stay pretty much where it is. This would give you space and you would push your,
how do you
Your
dry
vanity
that
bag.
floor? Do you see what I'm saying? For example, let's say Steve is in there and he takes a shower and he's got his
the water
wheelchair.
stays in the shower. There's just a little bit of a slope and a little bump about yay big. It's called a roll-in shower. It's just a little rise that you would go down into where the shower is.
I see. So in other words, he'd take the shower
That
in his chair.
That 2x4 that you have in there wouldn't be there. He would have a shower wheelchair.
I see.
He gets in the shower chair and just rolls himself in there. And he could do it with his feet maybe.
His foot. I mean, that's the only thing that I
But
can see would
he
be
needs more space than what you have. And you have to give up
obviously.
your closet. But the best way to do it is just make it a big open area. No bathroom door.
I never even thought about that. That would be,
That's the way a lot of
I
people
could
do
do
it.
that. And the office is
Well,
I just
you would
can't
have-
seem to do anything with it since
I know, but
Mom
you would
has
have
it.
to maybe use this
That's what I mean.
as a bedroom / office / closet. you
I
know.
was gonna say I could turn it in the closet.
Is there a third bedroom?
There is, well, I'll show you. See, it used to be that things were a lot neater in there. Because,
4 bedrooms?
But when my mother came,
Oh yeah, you got down the hallway here.
yeah, see, I gave mother, she's in that room, but this is, I
Oh, you
gave
have
her
lots of-
this room, and then this room is her TV room, and she's actually sleeping in there, and her own bath, see, she,
Yeah, okay, you have a whole other wing here.
yes, yes.
So, I'm not telling
So
you, there's a lot of people really open up that you have a beautiful place. If you incorporate that other bedroom, if you had all of that area, you could,
Open that up.
for
right here.
$35,000-$40,000, you could make that into a big open space, maybe less than that. Because you've already got, the plumbing doesn't have to move, except for the sinks would have to be moved back, you know, so that's literally no problem. It's really no problem,
Yeah, I could, that's something I could look into.
yeah. They can do
But you
that.
say 35, 40,
Well,
that's not.
you know, but it depends upon how, you know, how you.
And just so you know,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? And
Is this Braun equipment on there? Is this BRAUN?
it's VMI or something, right? It says at the back. What's the name of it? Right here. VMI North Star is the name of it. It is not a. I
It's
don't
VMI.
believe it's
VMI.
Braun.
Okay, it's just
But
VMI.
at any rate, the ramp is on this side.
Right, and he
He
locks
comes
right in
in.
there.
He comes in and he can do a turn. There you go. Of course, we had to teach him how to do that.
What'd you pay for this baby? 56?
52.
52.
Well, it was
slightly used?
It was 2015, but it only had 10,000 miles on it.
Oh man, you got that's beautiful.
We're thrilled.
You only have 12,000 miles on it now. See,
I
you're-
know. I know. No, I
You
couldn't.
can find these. Sometimes people get them and unfortunately don't live that long and that sort of thing.
I don't know what happened, but the person who had it, I only had 10,000 on it when I got it. So
Kyle, if you want to show this, this is primo for a guy in his situation.
it is, and he
lock
can
right in
handle
there?
all that.
These are wheel locks right here.
Correct. And then the only thing I have to do, there's a seat belt. That's all I
belt him
have to
in.
do. I don't have to lock him down.
He just
or
locks the
anything
chair
anymore.
down.
And then I do have to push the button because he can't reach over and reach that.
You have the ejection button where if he gets on your nerves, you can throw him out the ceiling.
No, but it does unlock this. I'm kidding. But at any rate, it's a lovely. We couldn't be happier. It has been a perfect solution because we had one that I had bought on Craigslist. Just to get
What
us.
year is
going.
this?
2015.
You'll have this another 6 or 8 years. But as it turns out, you made a wise decision.
Well, we like the openness of the, the openness. That's what we
Okay,
like.
this is a pretty wide body hover round.
It is. I just charged it up, so you can take it for a ride.
You were barking at me like I was the devil. Now you're sweet. No, he's not barking.
So at any rate, that's our house. You've seen our whole house.
Okay.
And right there on the wall next to you, you can see.
Picture of Joey Sindelar with Steve in his group.
Yeah, Horseheads, New York.
Horseheads, New York. Joey's right next to Steve on the right.
I see him, yeah.
There's Stevie in his cart with one of the original dogs at the golf course. All golf course pictures.
Is there an issue with the golf cart? Just balance?
You mean
Driving
a
it?
regular golf cart?
Well, no one that's, you could.
It would have to be a special one.
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you, because we tried to put him in one. He rode the back 9 with a friend just last Friday.
No, just for a rep. I know there's not a store to go to real
No.
close by here, unfortunately.
There would be no issue except for getting him in. I don't know. Isn't there a law about golf carts on the streets?
There are a lot of communities where that's what people use. They go to Publix in them.
I know our people in Bayside Lakes do that, but they're not supposed to. They've been told by the cops they can't do it.
Oh, there's your hole in one.
That's the one that's here at the
You know what,
majors.
it took me, what year does that say?
Do they test the players for them?
Yes.
Well, what happens if you need them for your doctor prescribes them?
I don't know what they won't let this one guy take it. I can't remember his name.
Well, who's the guy that had the heart transplant who was second place in the U.S. Open when they played at Pinehurst?
Oh yeah, there's a. I
The
remember.
man that used to ride the golf cart.
No, there's the guy.
There's
that's had
actual
the
tour
heart.
player.
Yeah, he's
He's had 2 heart
Yes.
transplants.
Can't remember his name.
I don't think he's on tour anymore.
I was gonna say,
But that was only 3 or 4 years ago when he was,
Yeah.
was at Pinehurst.
There's another guy who, just maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, he couldn't finish a round. He had some issues with it. He was
Yep.
getting faint and he couldn't finish, and they
Okay.
took him to the hospital. And he had heart issues, and they gave him this medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the guy that, why they checked him, and then, or I think he just said, he admitted that he took them.
But he had to take them.
Yeah, and they banned them because they said you can't take those medicines. So now he's not playing.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
Mm-mm.
I told
Stevie,
my,
stand up for John.
Steve, I want to see you walk before I
Get
leave.
yourself ready.
I'm about to leave. I've been here over 2 hours already. I think I started a little bit before 10:30. Now it's 12:45.
Use your knees, don't push. Don't push. See what you're doing here? I guess that's there, I'm sorry about that. Don't push back.
I'm trying not to push back here.
I know, but you are. You're pushing back, so it's going backwards. The chair
All right. He's up.
is up. Walk over. Walk.
Cross the carpet.
Wherever you want, just walk.
You know, the worst part about it is not being able to use a real walker.
Exactly. If
You
he
know,
had 2
It
hands,
would
this
be
would not have
so
been an
much
issue.
easier. The Hemi walker's nice.
It's the only option though out there for right? Is there another option that we don't know?
Well, quad cane, but I don't think he gets enough support from
He
quad
doesn't. We tried a quad cane. They tried him at Sea Pines with a quad cane, but you had to be right on him. He didn't have the balance.
Yeah, first time I was going to use it at home.
Keep
cane. The
walking.
quad cane?
I got about a foot and I started to go down. We had company and a poor kid came and caught
Got
me.
his body right on.
I
Kid caught you?
He did.
And
Young
one of the kids in the picture is
Well,
over there.
he's 25.
A little
30.
Asian
Is he
fella.
bigger than me? Is he bigger than Kyle?
He's about the
No.
same size as you are. Actually.
We're both pretty small
He
guys.
caught me. I
he
said,
got right under
I
his
weigh 159, 160
Well, this
pounds.
kid only weighed about
I'm right there with you.
140.
Where are you about to
He's
say?
160, yeah.
He got under me. It looked like
He got
Atlantis
shoulder
holding up the
under him.
world.
Enough
Yeah.
until I could get there and the 2 of us. Keep going there. Walk like you're going. Go ahead right to the bed.
Can you see me can you see my hand?
Yes.
You can see it. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Just check, see if you had some visual neglect. You don't.
It's a step,
Head right into the bedroom.
step through. Head in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Why the bedroom?
I just say.
You do whatever you want, Steve. I just want to see you walk.
I'll turn around and get back in my chair.
You get in your other chair.
Get it.
If you're
Once
gonna
you get
watch
once you
golf.
transfer in your golf,
He
you
is
have-
gonna watch golf. I know it's gonna be.
I have Sirius radio in my car, Steve. I can
There
listen
you
to
go.
golf on the radio. People say, John, how can you possibly listen to golf
Are
on
you
the
kidding?
radio? It's boring enough on TV. I said, these announcers are so good. You know,
All
they
you
can-
gotta do is just get an idea what if you're following somebody, you know.
Come on, honey. Come on back and sit here.
Trevor Immelman has a brother who's on radio, and he is so good.
I didn't know that.
Serious radio.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
don't have service.
Emmeline won the Masters in 2008.
Yeah.
That was the only
Yeah.
time I ever attended the Masters was 2008.
Oh, you've been to Augusta?
Huh?
Don't think I'll be out dancing tonight, do you?
Slow dancing.
That's on my
Very
bucket
soft.
list, John. I am someday, when I have knees and I can walk and stuff. I am
You don't have to
going
walk, you can just find a good spot in the shade. and
I
just
know,
stay
but
there.
I wanna be able to walk. There's
It's the
so
most
much.
beautiful
to see.
piece of ground.
It
Oh my
is.
gosh, to spend 3
And you
days
know what,
there.
as a
We know
golf
it.
course superintendent, I can go anytime I want.
That's true.
No
Really?
charge, yes.
Well, we also have a lot of golf
I
friends.
have a
that
personal
do-
connection to Augusta National. My mother's sister, my aunt, married to a guy named Robert Marvin. And Robert Marvin is one of the foremost landscape architects ever.
Wow,
He's in the South Carolina Hall of Fame as a landscape architect or
wow,
land use planner or whatever.
super.
He laid out Harbor Town, you know, with the little harbor. and the-
Yeah,
and the-
Harbor Links, you mean?
No, he laid out the town itself
Oh,
and the resort area. He laid all that out for the developer.
oh, he's a
He is-
famous guy.
He is famous. He's in the Hall of Fame of
Yeah.
state of South Carolina.
He's a famous guy.
And he laid out lots of interesting places. The waterfront in Beaufort, South Carolina, the botanical gardens. How about the butterfly gardens at Callaway? You been to Callaway Gardens?
I'm not.
It's beautiful. He laid that out in the butterfly garden. And so he's very renowned. But in the, I guess it was the late 70s, early 80s, he put all the beautiful plants in at the Masters.
Real.
So he is one, after he did his job is when they named the holes different names.
Okay,
You know?
so azalea and all that was this,
The whole azalea, which is the par 5,
Right.
number 13,
right?
he put in something like 2,000 azalea plants there from his own plant nursery. They trucked them in from Walterboro, South Carolina.
He has his own nursery then.
He
I
did.
see.
He sold it when he got to be older.
Wow.
And my cousin was running it, but he died of a freak accident at an early age. But he put in, and he has all the drawings that he had for the various, you know, he only did 11 of the holes, 11 of the
Okay.
18 holes that he planted, and some of them didn't need it apparently. And he did the clubhouse and all the surrounding areas,
Oh,
the
just
pedestrian areas.
absolutely gorgeous.
So he's in. When he died, I called Jim. I left a message for Jim Nance, who's the guy
Yeah.
on TV,
Yeah.
saying that Robert Marvin passed away. I thought he'd get some recognition because he put all the beautiful plants in here at the Masters. I didn't get any response until like a month later, and it was some other person, and he said that. I think it was somebody from Augusta National. He said, "Well, we all know about Robert's contribution, but we do not single out anyone." At the Masters for
Aren't they?
special, only the players themselves.
They're not snobberies, are they? They
But
are.
they don't like only,
Augusta.
they never mention the golf course superintendent or the pro, or
And
they don't
you're right.
mention anything like that.
They'll say the grounds crew.
Maybe they say, but they won't single out any individual.
Isn't that unbelievable? That's quite the, and they give every video guy and I mean they're always saying he
I need my
has.
backup camera.
I'm here.
Am I in my spot?
You gotta
No,
turn
you're
a little
not.
bit more.
Yeah, I want you to take a step forward with your left, or sidestep, a step forward with your left, just a little.
Go towards that other chair that's right in front of you. There you go. Now
Now,
you got it. you
now
got
bring your right foot back about 5 inches and you're reaching.
it. Okay. Now your left foot back, I guess.
Just enough to get him, so he's always angling in this.
Gravity is your enemy, isn't it?
And I got lots of gravity too.
That was a good set. That was a good set.
I'm here. I've made it.
You did it.
You'll be here for the whole time during the golf?
I
He'll be here
will.
most of the time, yes, except for his nap, which he will want.
Do you use the urinal out here too, like you're watching
No.
golf? No. You just hold it.
I
Well,
hold
he's got
it, or
underwear
that's what
on.
diapers are for.
Yeah.
He's got his underwear on and he may or may not.
Just kidding.
Okay. Well, is there anything I You changes in your life, obviously you're not playing golf and did you ride motorcycles or
No.
horses or anything like that? Nothing?
Steve didn't.
You just played golf?
Played golf.
Well, we like to go out and have,
You have special places you went?
yeah, and some we can't go to anymore.
They're not accessible?
They're not, yeah, for example, we love to go to Captain Hiram's Sandbar. And it was just a little
Sandbars
place.
are kind of out.
You know, it's sand.
It's a nice little tiki bar.
He can't get
Where
up.
is it? Is it on the island or?
No, down
It's in
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Oh, okay.
Sebastian's about 10 miles
Yeah,
south of us.
yeah, I know it is.
And there were a lot of, for example, you mentioned the shack. Well, obviously, we can't go there anymore because of that. And now I'm glad that we can't because of the food. Glad to hear that.
Everything about the food was okay except for the fried
It
shrimp.
is a
You couldn't-
lovely
you couldn't
spot.
tell they were shrimp.
I'm glad to hear that. Now I don't miss it. Certain places we just can't go, but we've found other places that we go now to have. But when I say we go out, what do we go out, once every month?
Just depends.
We used to go out about once a week for dinner
Depends if somebody's in town. We still have quite a few friends come down from,
to visit.
and we have, actually, since we moved here, how many other couples have moved here from Ithaca?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you know them beforehand?
Yes, couples that followed us down.
They saw how nice it is down here? And
Yes. And 2 of them are
Mostly because of
full-time.
golf.
I hear the state of New York is losing people, so is California.
Well, we lived in upstate.
That could be part of my depression, is the fact that
You have some depression.
I don't like the fact that I get very short with my wife sometimes. Of course, she might get short with
Short
me.
temper, he's talking. Well, we both do. We both do.
You're more irritable than you used to be.
Yes, I think so.
You have a certain level of frustration because you can't do the things that you...
I don't know what it is, John. I just know it's caused a couple.
You guys get along otherwise?
We get along pretty good. We
How long
have,
you been together? 20
20 years.
years?
we
You both
occasionally,
married before?
Yes.
yes,
Second marriage?
yes.
There's your mother. I caught a peek of her. Alberta?
Alberta. Is she coming out?
She took a peek at me and went back in her room.
She might.
You scared her away.
Something like that.
But that's really the one thing that bothers me is I don't like to be that way with Marcy. You
Well, I
know.
think you're both good-natured people, you know.
I am a good nature, and sometimes she'll just push me the wrong way. You know, she tries to push me so hard.
She's doing it for your good.
I know that I'm fully aware of it. You know, it wears on you after a while.
Say hi.
Where's your hand pedal?
Right.
You see it's over on the little table there.
Oh, yeah.
On the,
Oh, you got the economy model.
yes, it's just one that I can put on top of put it on the table.
I'm sorry I showed you that picture of that rattlesnake, the world's largest rattlesnake. And to think it's only like 100 or so miles from you, right?
Hey, I know there's snakes in this area.
A lot of people don't believe those